From Ficco's Bowladrome in Franklin, Massachusetts, this is Championship Week on Hockomock Candlepins. Welcome everybody, alongside Jay Horrigan, I'm Ed Dunn. It's match one today. We find out who our tournament winner is. Our first match has the 1 seed of Mike Legendre taking on the 4 seed of Rick Newton. Congratulations on both of you guys winning your shows to get here. Mike, it's time to see what you've remembered from before. How do you feel going in?
I feel good. It's just a matter of, if you hit the headpin, you're going to get the breaks. That's it. That's about it.
You've seen a lot of the matches that have come through here, and now we're here for the finals. You feel that your ball has the energy that it needs going in?
Yeah, I mean, the only hard part is you wait around, but it's part of bowling. You have to wait and wait for your turn to bowl. So, but nothing you do about that.
And Rick, how about yourself during warm-ups? How you feeling? You comfortable with the lanes?
Yeah, we bowl here, so yeah, I'm very comfortable with the lanes.
And how you feeling tonight? You think you might be able to take Mike on? You might be able to beat him?
I hope so, unless he wants to give up now. If not,
we're all for that. Yeah. Save us all some time or whatever. I know my wife's waiting for me to take her out to dinner.
So,
Mike, you want it?
No?
No?
All right,
okay.
I guess we're bowling tonight then.
Okay, and we are tonight, with this being the championship, we are the winner of tonight's your match. Then the winner of the next match will compete for our championship, and the winner overall tonight will receive $200 as the Hockomock Candlepin champion. So that's exciting, something to look forward to, not to put any pressure on you. And this year this time around with Hockomock Candlepins, we are encouraging any kind of trash talking, anything like that, to make it even that much more lively in the spirit of the football season. So
very good.
Okay.
All right.
And did you have any more questions, Ed?
I'm just opening it up for trash talk.
No.
Any trash talking?
No.
Well, it's a gentleman's game. Let's be gentlemen. Let's shake hands and let's get rolling. It is Championship Week, game number 1. Rick Newton starts us off on lane 15. Good luck to both competitors. So, Jay, I got to ask you right out of the blocks. Well, Rick has 7 pins with some wood. Did you miss me last week?
I totally did. I was lost without you. As I told you when I interviewed you, I was guessing on the pins. What they were, I told you I thought you had an 8-10, and it was a 4-10. Nice pickup there, 2 pins for Rick. Rick comes into the championship week. His original qualifying total was a 368.
And leaves the 10 pin for a 9. Well, although I'm back here with you for the championship, I'm hopeful that I represented Franklin TV as best I could as a volunteer to step up there and give it my shot last week.
You did a great job. Nothing personal, but I wish you were.
And there is a strike from Rick Newton. Right through the head pin, take out the pocket shot, leaving 1 left to carry over at the end. Takes its sleeve onto the plate, sets up a strike for the second box. Great shot. Now on lane 16, Mike Legendre starts us off.
Mike's qualifying average was 379. Came in.
Right through the middle. Spread eagle plus the 9.
Picks up 4 more pins there.
And matching 9s in the first frame. You were saying earlier about last week?
Although I didn't want you to take it personally, I was hoping you wouldn't be here this week. I was hoping you would be here, but as a bowler, not as a co-anchor, or whatever we call ourselves, a co-announcer, a team member.
And there is a strike for Mike Legendre. Once again, the 5 pin is trying to make a fool out of me, but it did not last long enough to stay back up. Another pocket hit, leaving just a 5 pin to take the fall last to the plate. And we're dead even to 2 pins to frames, strikes to 9s, and Rick Newton's now up to frame number 3.
Back a little bit off the head pin there.
Fill of 7 on the strike.
It's interesting, Ed, with the way we're set up now. Little doing this our second time around with the Hockomock Candlepins. As Rick finishes that frame with the 7, with the monitors here, being able to watch the action on the pins. It's, for me, not doing this, not as knowledgeable as you and the rest of your fellow bowlers. When you bowled last week and watching some of these guys, the actions on the pins is just unbelievable.
It certainly is.
And just watching on your pins specifically, and I remembered you talking about it, the way that the pins are just went flying over some of the pins. Some of your times they knocked them down. Some of them you just didn't get your breaks. They just went flying over.
Nope.
And you watch it with these guys too.
It is a game of inches.
Rick Newton with 4 there for 7 total in the 4th frame. One more ball to roll.
And a 9. Pair of opens in the 3rd and 4th, so the door is open for Mike. I certainly had a lot going for me in that first game, but I was up against a very talented and strong opponent in Skip Easterbrook. I said it then, I'll say it now. He is one of the top of the house bowlers here and one of the best in the business. He's been on the big network shows back when they were on television. I watched him.
Right.
I thought about, wow, wouldn't it be fun if I could get to do that? Never thought I'd actually get to do that with him as my opponent.
Correct.
But when we qualified last week, I knew, because we're setting up for the broadcast, we did the matchups, and I knew I had him, so I had 7 days to wonder, oh, how is this going to go? And
Right, right.
It's a matter of pins, and I had one more than him when it came to the end, and that's how it goes.
Right, right.
So Mike fills the strike with 8, gets an 8 in the box, which is going to give him a 2-pin lead going into frame number 4, and he is opposite a 9.
Well, and then who we'll get to see in our next match, you ran into a buzzsaw. Nice ball there by Mike. You ran into a buzzsaw in Jonathan Boudreau.
No, actually, I ran into a buzzsaw in Ed Dunn. My friends, gone for the spare. Phil will give him the padded lead. He'll add to that when he gets back up. Right now, Rick Newton steps up in the 5th. I didn't have any of the breaks or spins that I had in the second match that I did in the first. And with a talented young bowler like Jonathan Boudreau, who's refined and he's polished and he's so young and so talented, and a left-hander using that extra groove on the other side, I had it all lined up against me. But I gave my best effort, and unfortunately the pins just didn't fall, and I didn't make my shots.
Nice
Rick made his and filled that one with a spare nicely. 1-3-6, no wood, punched it right through. Great shot. Again, we talked about this with Nick in earlier broadcast, that the higher seeded bowler always goes last, so they have the advantage of knowing what they need when they get up.
Right.
And there is another strike for Rick Newton. Once again, that ball went right through the pocket, hitting the head pin right where it needed to go. And again, the 5 pin is the last one to fall. 3 times the 5 pin is the last one to fall. Mike Legendre now, just off the head pin, leaving the 4 horsemen left. Piece of wood coming up from the back. It's going to sit right behind the head pin, it looks like. And it's not at the perfect angle, so this could be a hindrance for Mike. Well, didn't hit the object pin anyway, so it was irrelevant at that point. 6 on the fill. And there's the 10 without the wood. So Rick filled his 5th frame with 20 pins and has a strike waiting. And Mike filled with 6 and then a 10, so now he's at 61. So pins down, it's only 1 pin, but he's opposite a strike. 2-4 pocket's going to leave him the 1, 6, 8, 10. Piece of wood resting up against the 8.
Mike
And
just
now
gets such
rolling
a
back towards
smooth
the 1.
style.
Changed its mind. Now wants to rest against the 1. And picks up a
nice pickup.
fantastic
Nice
shot for the
pickup.
spare. Put the ball right off the head pin where it needed to go. One deflected one way, the ball went the other. All the pins were collected. A fantastic shot.
Great
Marks
job.
up for the 6th. We're even again with 1 pin off. Rick Newton now up again on lane 16. Full on the head pin, but a great break. 4-7 is going to be left with a piece of wood resting just in front of both pins, but it's very close to the gutter, so he may try to go around this and catch the edge of the 4, or he may have to cap the wood. Can't hit the one in the gutter first. Capped it, wood, pushed it right through. Nice shot. Tremendous spare. Nicely played. 3 marks in a row for Rick Newton. Putting a lot of forward progress now for Mike, who was playing the 1 seed and has had basically almost a free ride all the way through. He's usually had it wrapped up by the 7th or 8th, but in this match, again, might come down to the end. Going to spare, 3 pocket full. Fill 5, leaves the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. A makeable shot for Rick. Just have to put the ball outside the head pin or hit the 1, 2 pocket and try to drive that head pin over to the corner.
Ooh.
Had
Nice
the right
attempt.
idea going
Nice
outside the
attempt.
head pin, but could not collect the 4. Great opportunity right there. And grabs the 4 pin for the 10.
Good job, Rick.
107 after 8, which is a very good score. Seeing as how his average is only but it's 111. But he's
111,
only
yeah.
4 pins from it with 2 to go. Legendre now our 1 seed, once again up on lane 15.
Working on a spare. Ooh.
4. Oh, how did we leave that up there? 4, 7, 8, 9. The 8 pin looks like it's been moved a little bit. And wide to the left for 7. So fill of 6 and the open of 7. He's going to be down 13 opposite of 10 in frames played. So a mark here will cut it to single digits, but he's going to need one here to force Rick to have to keep the ball going. Four horsemen left plus the 10 pin. It is very good having our table side pin cams, so we can get a better look at the action right up close.
Ooh.
Hit the pocket where he needed to, but couldn't carry the corners. 7-10 with a piece of wood right, exactly almost in the middle of the lane, so he could clip a corner of one side and hopefully get both, but it's a precision shot. Went for it, but put it right through.
Yep.
As we make the turn for home, Rick Newton has a 15-pin lead, 107-92 over number 1 seed Mike Legendre, a spot he's never been in up until right now, behind. 1 mark will make it very difficult, but 2 opens, Mike can definitely put 2 marks up and bring this right into a dramatic finish. Full on the head pin, but leaves a 6-10. Good shot there. Rick has a lot of that back driving action on his ball, where the ball pins don't necessarily go left and right, but they all kind of collect and push back. And
He's been very consistent on his first ball with high numbers.
it's the championship, so you would expect nothing less from these bowlers. These are the 4 best that we've had. They're actually seeded 1, 2, 3, and 4 in our 16-person tournament. And a 9. It's like when you're watching the professional sports series or these national basketball tournaments, that everybody's seeded,
right?
So they all have a chance to play. Anybody can win, but if the favorites all clear right across, then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the final, and that's exactly what we have.
But it's very rare that you get that in most sports. Very rare in most tournaments.
And the spread eagle, which is going to leave the door wide open for Mike Legendre now. It's not going to be an easy road, but it's open.
So Rick will end up well above his average of 111.
A great attempt at the spread eagle.
Nice.
Sent the 2-pin across to collect the 6-pin, but needed to cut it just a little bit thinner to try to get the 2-pin to fall back to the 3 and push the 6-pin back to the 10. But a great opportunity nonetheless. The baby split now, left for a 10. And we always say in our league, every pin counts, and that could be why.
Right.
124 at the end for Rick Newton. A wonderful game, the great string, nothing wrong with that. However, it's up against the number 1 seed, and he's very capable of
22
putting
pin
up
difference.
32 pins in 2 frames. There's only 2 marks. 2
You're right.
spares is all it
32
needs.
pins, yeah.
Not something Mike can't do, but it is something he has to do. Into the 9th. 3-6 pocket leaves the 1, 2, 4, 9, 10. Tried to cut the head pin over and hit everything else but. And leaves the head pin 4 and 9. He's going to need to hit that pin first if he wants to have a chance. He does need 2 marks to win.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's got 1 frame left. So those 2 marks are going to have to be strikes. He needs to throw a strike right here to keep this one going.
That's not going to do it.
Head pin. And we have our first upset of the night.
So Rick Newton will end up winning this match with a 124.
Finishes off with 9.
124, 110. Rick Newton will end up taking this match. So that'll be the number 4 seed over the number 1 seed.
Our first upset so far, and he'll take on the winner of our 2 and 3 seeds, Chris Parkinson and Jonathan Boudreau. We'll meet both of those bowlers and have match number 2 right after this. Welcome back to Championship Week. It's match number 2 here at Ficco's Bowladrome. Now we have the number 2 seed of Chris Parkinson taking on the number 3 seed of Jonathan Boudreau. Chris, you've had your chance to wait in the wings now after all the other competitors that come through. You're seeing the action that's up here. It's up and down all over the place. How do you feel going in?
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good coming in. I feel confident. But like I said, I see the ups and I see the downs. And so just take one box at a time. And see how it goes.
Do you feel in your warm-up before coming over here that you're in the groove that you had when you finished, or does it feel like a fresh start and it's 10 boxes to the finish?
We'll see when I bowl. That's all I can say.
And Jonathan, how about yourself? You loose? You feel like you're ready to go?
Yeah, I'm pretty loose. As loose as it's going to get. So.
Yeah. I never expected to hear that from an 18-year-old. Wait till you get to be 52.
Yeah, well, sometime. That'll happen someday.
Yeah, sooner than you think. Now, have you ever bowled against Chris here?
I have not. No.
Okay.
It's going to be a tough match. He's one
Absolutely.
of the best in the house. So.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to bring my bowling. I'll have to bowl well.
Okay, great.
Well, gentlemen, shake hands and let's bring that ball in. Good luck to both of you. Game 2 is now underway. Our 3 seed Jonathan Boudreau starts us off on lane 15.
Jonathan starts off with a 7.
Leaving the 7, 8, 10 with some wood resting against the 10 pin. He could carry this across if he hits it right. And he did. Fantastic shot.
Jonathan starts off where he left off.
He hasn't lost his groove since his match earlier. 10 pin with 2 pieces of wood snug right against it. Hit the 10 pin flush. Wood went straight over to the 7 and 8. Fantastic shot. Back on lane 15. Jonathan filling. Oh, 1-5. That's the landing eagle. Spread eagle with its feet out from the 8 pin and the 9 pin. And punching through now. Tough frame. We'll have to try to salvage this with a good out here. And comes up with a 6. Sometimes it's where the ball goes and where the ball stops. And Jonathan's winning match last week, he had the ball exactly where he wanted it to.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I was the victim of that, and now today his first 2 boxes are not his best. So first shot was fantastic, but it was splits and punches, so you got to make your pins. Chris Parkinson starts off now with a 7 after 2, leaving the 2, 4, 7. Slices the 2 short.
Just picks up 4 there.
One, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. And the other piece of technology that we've been working with all series long is the ball return machine. Unfortunately, even when I was up there, the ball I was waiting for was sometimes slow to come back down. But you know, as Nick said once before, we don't have pin boys and monkeys up there running the balls back and forth, so we have to use what we have and wait our turns.
That's right.
Great shot for a spare.
Nice
Nicely
spare,
hit.
Chris. Nice job.
Hit the 1-3 pocket exactly where he needed it to be. Spun the pin off the wood to come back and click out the 5, and a great spare to set that up. So we each have a mark. Going into the 3rd frame now. There's Jonathan Boudreau.
Jonathan with 4 on that shot.
Great shot. Fantastic spare. 4 horsemen left, plus the 8 and 10. Puts the ball right in the 1-2 pocket. The head pin goes over and cleans up the 10. The ball goes back and carries out the 8 with the action. Fantastic shot for a spare.
Those pins exploded.
Back to lane 16 now. Chris on for the fill. Jonathan puts up a strike. Right in the pocket. A fantastic way to come back after that disappointing 2nd frame with the fill and open, to put up a spare like that and come back and put a strike on top of it. Fantastic bowling so far from Jonathan Boudreau, which now sets up Chris on lane 15. Up against a spare and a strike, and ends up with the 7-10 split. There's a piece of wood that's nestled around where the 3 pin would be. Good action spin, could be able to bounce that off the red line and send it over to the 7 pin. Difficult shot to make. Gave it the right idea, just missed it. And the ball goes off into the channel, but we still the pin up there for a 9. So pins down, he's only down 3 pins, but he's opposite a strike. This is where being the higher seed has the advantage of knowing what you need when you're up there.
For Chris.
1, 2, 3, 6, 10 with a lot of wood back there to help kick it around. But the head pin, as you said about mine, flies high and over and
Yep.
doesn't make any contact. So leaving the 3, 6, 10 for 10.
Oof.
And a lot of spinning around, but leaves the 3 pin for a 9. So at the end of the second set, Jonathan's coming up now to Phil on 48 plus 2 to throw, and Chris sits down with 44. So the lead is 4 plus the count of the next 2 shots. First ball leaves him the 4 horseman right plus the 4-7. Full on the head pin.
So back in the fourth, he ends up with 53 on the strike.
Catches
Oh,
the
nice
3
shot.
pin right where it needed to be, but oh, he left the 4 pin. A great way to recover after that first ball. So it's a 5 on the fill and a 9 in the box, so 62 after 5. One thing about bowlers that are in the Pro Series is that they are skilled at what they do, and they're almost expectant that if the ball is where it should be, you should get the result you need. But in this game, you can't get it just because you put it there. The pins also have to fall. Jonathan starts this frame with the half bush to left.
More there.
Almost picks up for the 10. Great way to recover. Another 9. You'd anticipate by watching at home without seeing the scores on the screen that Jonathan might be having a very bad game, but just the opposite. He's actually leading this match, but he's firstly frustrated with the way his own shots are falling and the results he's not getting. But he's still out in front.
Chris picks up 4 in his first shot in the fifth.
4 horsemen left, plus the 8-10. Plenty of wooden back. Hits the pocket full and leaves the 10 pin. A great opportunity there. And a 10.
Ed, if you would, talk about Jonathan. I'm just impressed with the fact for an 18-year-old kid. He's so composed, and he has tremendous ability. And, you know, he obviously he could bowl as Chris picks up 6 there on his first shot in the 6th.
4 horsemen right for Chris, and yes, absolutely. With Jonathan being 18 years old and eligible to be part of the Pro Series at 18 and be bowling on the North Shore where the Pro Series takes place, and it's basically his home house that sets it up, Lucky Strike and Lynn, you have the ability to be around a lot of the best bowlers in New England. Great shot for a 10 there. But what does happen is because he's 18, though he's mature as a bowler and professional in this situation, when you're frustrated and you exploit that frustration, your age is showing. But what he needs to do right now is realize that he has a 7-pin lead and needs to just focus in, put those balls away, focus on the next one. So if you let what you did in the beginning carry you through, then that frustration is going to limit your pressure on the ball, it's going to affect your delivery, it's going to affect your approach, and it's going to affect your overall game.
And there's a 4 for Jonathan. And when you say Pro Series, what do you, for people that don't know what you mean by Pro Series, since it is up on the North Shore, what exactly is that?
Well, the Pro Series is basically a traveling singles or doubles tournament, depending on what their format is at the time. And it's eligible for all professional level candlepin bowlers that are represented by an active league average and can participate in this basically traveling roadshow. It is the version of the Channel 5 format, although it's broadcast